I'd like to ask you, what do you think straight up? When are we going to have like a virtual conference that doesn't have the feeling of a Zoom meeting, that has the feeling of a real, get together?
Yeah, so we're starting to see little hints of that right now. So there are some experiments. We're working on stuff too that can bring you into that kind of space, and you start to have the magic of a real event or a real conference when you feel like you're physically there, when you're able to also maneuver and walk around. But the really big challenge for that right now, and the thing holding back VR from being used at any major events, is the lack of accessibility to hardware. So even though anyone can go out and buy a VR headset, they're expensive and too complicated for most people. They're also uncomfortable still. So we need to get those like 3 stages to be able to have more accessibility. It has to be less expensive so that, it's like buying a webcam. It has to be really easy to use, and we're starting to get there with things like the Oculus Quest. And it has to be comfortable to wear for a few hours, like you would if you're going to an event, if you want to watch a whole presentation, if you want to go to kind of mingle with people. You need to be able to wear it for a few hours.
Is it necessarily VR though? That's the solution?
So I would say VR has a better access to kind of give you that presence and feel like you're somewhere and like you're able to meet people, as opposed to something like AR technology. Because the AR is great, I think, for a localized meeting of a few people or something, or displaying something in the real world. But you can't simulate a conference in AR because you're limited still within your room space. You can't walk endlessly. You can't go to a large event with lots of people.
But I'm curious. I mean, I see that there are solutions like VR chat, which is totally gamified right now, and it's not something that people can have serious meetings on, I feel, because they are blocked without, they have like a virtual identity in front of them in most cases. And in order to make the leap into business, there had to be some sort of a component that you put yourself as the centerpiece and immerse it in VR.
Yeah, so you do have to have a little bit more of a serious kind of focused view of it, and also that's really based on you as your professional image. So we're quite far from actually being able to represent your real physical body or your face in a way that would be comfortable for people to see in VR. But we are, what you can do kind of in the meantime is still have a persona that's an avatar that is in a more professional setting. And so there's a bunch of other systems out there, Sansar, High Fidelity, a couple other things like VR Chat that address a bit of this area. But the thing with all of those systems is they are very, very generic. They want to support like a huge range of different types of activities and things. And so one of the things we started working on is something that's a little bit more focused on simplicity. So to be able to get in it very easy without having a complicated setup and lots of different controls, but also that will allow a little bit more of that simplified kind of professional approach too. So and be able to customize it for the type of event specifically, rather than trying to take something that's really a bit more of a kind of social game environment.